This is the story of a man who lost everything and found the strength to keep going. In a remote, dusty countryside in Russia, a FedEx delivery van rushes along the uneven roads, bouncing past frozen fields and tin-roofed buildings. Inside a modest cabin that doubles as a small studio, a woman carefully packs a parcel. She places a pair of angel wings on the package, her own unique insignia. She tapes it shut and hands it over to a FedEx driver, her artwork bound for a destination thousands of miles away. Thousands of miles from there, in Memphis, Tennessee, Chuck Noland is immersed in the pulse of corporate logistics. A highly driven FedEx systems analyst, Chuck spends his days flying across the world, fixing scheduling inefficiencies and drilling workers on time management. For Chuck, every second counts. Time rules over us without mercy. He lectures during meetings, pacing the floor with intensity. His life is dictated by clocks, schedules, and deadlines. Chuck's devotion to time doesn't leave much room for a personal life, but he does have one constant: Kelly Frears, a doctoral student working on her thesis. They are deeply in love, and Kelly supports him despite his constant travel. As Christmas approaches, Chuck is home briefly, enjoying dinner with Kelly and her family. There's a warmth in their interactions, a familiarity that speaks of a relationship that has weathered distance and work obligations. Later, while exchanging gifts, Chuck surprises her with a pager, an ironic nod to their modern time-bound love. In return, Kelly gives him a treasured heirloom, a gold pocket watch, engraved with a loving message. Inside the watch is a small photograph of her smiling. Chuck clutches it with quiet gratitude. It's clear that this small token is more than just a gift. It's a reminder of home, of love, of something stable amidst his chaotic lifestyle. But time waits for no one, not even for Christmas Eve. Chuck is called away for a sudden business trip to Malaysia. In the terminal parking lot, their goodbye is hesitant. She hands him a small bag of Christmas presents and watches him walk into the terminal, unaware it might be the last time she ever sees him. Chuck boards a FedEx cargo plane that night. The aircraft is filled with shipping containers, each parcel representing deadlines and destinations. Chuck settles into a jump seat, flipping through paperwork. Outside, rain lashes the fuselage, and lightning dances in the sky. Somewhere over the Pacific, turbulence begins to shake the plane. At first, it's subtle, minor bumps, but it quickly intensifies. Lights flicker, sirens blare. The cockpit crew scrambles to regain control as the plane descends into chaos. Chuck is thrown violently against his restraints. Alarms scream. The plane breaks apart midair. Sections of cargo ejected into the ocean below. The roaring of engines, the howling wind. Then a violent crash as the fuselage smashes into the dark, angry sea. Water rushes in. Chuck fights to unbuckle, kicking debris, gasping as he's pulled downward by the force of the wreckage. He bursts to the surface, barely clinging to a life raft. Flames erupt in the distance as pieces of the plane float around him, swallowed by the night. He wakes up on the beach, drenched, sunburned, and alone. The island is small and desolate, with steep cliffs, dense underbrush, and no sign of human life. Chuck screams for help, but his voice is met with silence. The tropical heat beats down as he stumbles around the island, searching for other survivors. But the ocean has claimed them all. There's no one else. Soon, packages from the wreck begin to wash ashore. He gathers them, hoping they contain tools or supplies. Some boxes yield odd contents: ice skates, a volleyball, dresses, and videotapes. One package bears the same angel wings he saw in Russia. For some reason, he doesn't open that one. It remains unopened, preserved like a promise or a symbol. His first days are filled with desperation. Hunger gnaws at him, and thirst threatens to undo him. He tries to break coconuts with rocks, failing again and again. Eventually he learns. He uses the blades from the ice skates to crack open shells and to fashion crude tools. He uses vines to secure objects. He scrapes his skin, bloodies his hands, burns himself learning to make fire. In that moment of rage and pain, he picks up the volleyball and, using his own bloody handprint, draws a crude face on it. He names it Wilson. It becomes his companion, his listener, his confidant. The volleyball provides someone to talk to, someone to argue with. Wilson is a creation of necessity, an emotional lifeline to sanity. When he finally creates a flame from dry kindling, he cries with joy, dancing around the fire like a madman. Each new challenge reveals his lack of preparation. His watch stops working. His teeth begin to rot. Time, which once defined his every move, becomes impossible to track. The days blend together. He marks time by sunrises and moon cycles. He learns the rhythms of the island, the tides, the winds, the storms. He studies the patterns of fish, builds a spear, and eventually learns to catch food. He sets up a base in a cave, gathers leaves for bedding, and creates a calendar on the rock wall using tick marks. Years pass. Chuck transforms. His hair grows long and wild. His beard is thick and matted. His body is lean, sun-scorched and muscular from constant labor. He speaks often to Wilson, he plans imaginary conversations. He replays moments with Kelly over and over. At night, he clutches the pocket watch, the photo of her inside giving him strength. In his heart, he believes she's out there, waiting for him. Then, one day, a storm hits. The winds howl, the tide surges. Chuck finds a piece of debris washed ashore, a section of a portable toilet door, bright blue, flat and buoyant. He stares at it, then at the horizon. Something shifts. It's a sign, an opportunity. Determined, Chuck begins to build a raft. He lashes logs together using vines and tree bark. He attaches the plastic door as a makeshift sail. He tests the tides, studying the waves for months. He prepares for every possible danger: sharks, sun, starvation. He stores coconuts and dried fish. He sharpens spears. He builds an oar. Then, he waits for the right moment. When the tide finally turns in his favor, Chuck launches the raft. The surf is violent. Waves crash over him. He nearly drowns, but he pushes forward. After hours of struggle, he breaks free from the reef into open ocean. Wilson is tied to the raft. Together, they float into the unknown. Days pass on the open sea. The sun blisters his skin. Rain is both a curse and a blessing. Then one night, during a storm, he loses consciousness. The next morning, Wilson is gone. The rope snapped. Chuck wakes to see the ball drifting away. He screams and dives into the ocean, sobbing, paddling toward his only friend. But it's too far. Wilson drifts into the horizon. Chuck collapses onto the raft, broken and alone once again. But salvation comes unexpectedly. A massive cargo ship appears on the horizon. Chuck waves frantically. He is rescued, pulled aboard, and given food and water. For the first time in years, he sleeps in a bed. He's flown back to Memphis, where the world he once knew has moved on without him. At the airport, he is met by old colleagues. Reporters crowd around. Cameras flash. FedEx holds a welcome ceremony, but Chuck is dazed. He's overwhelmed by the noise, by the fast pace, by the presence of things he once took for granted: mirrors, cars, clocks, people. His apartment is still furnished, as though frozen in time, but everything feels alien. He meets with Kelly. She is stunned, overwhelmed with emotion. They cry and embrace. They speak for hours. But Kelly, believing him dead, has married another man and started a family. Chuck sees her child. He understands. He tells her she must stay with her family. She says she still loves him. But he tells her, "You're the love of my life. But I lost you." Later, he drives across the vast Texas plains in search of Bettina, the woman who sent the package with the angel wings. He finds her house, but she's not home. He leaves the unopened package at her door with a note. It had survived the crash, the years, the ocean, and so had he. Finally, Chuck stands at a crossroads in the middle of nowhere. A gravel road stretches in 4 directions. A red truck stops. A woman leans out, gives him directions, and smiles warmly before driving off. Chuck watches her go, then turns to look down each path. For the first time in years, he has nowhere urgent to be. He's free, a man no longer bound by time or by fear. He stands still, surrounded by silence, and smiles softly. Because now, the future is wide open.